Cardi B wins $60K from Tasha K for posts about Offset and Stefan Diggs, y'all. Oh my. Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, anything I say is alleged and in my very, very personal opinion. This for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some meat and potatoes, some housekeeping items. So, today we are talking Tasha K and Cardi B, because allegedly Cardi B has won a $60,000 60 thou wow settlement from Tasha K for posts about Offset and Stefan Diggs. So this is courtesy of Billboard, but it is everywhere. Gossip blogger Tasha K has agreed to pay Cardi B a $60,000 fee for violating an earlier settlement by engaging in online chatter about the hip-hop star's love life. The agreement, docketed on Tuesday, June 30th, and obtained by Billboard, resolves contempt of court proceedings that stem from Cardi's $4 million defamation win against Tasha from 2022. Last year, the blogger, full name such and such and such and such, signed a bankruptcy deal that delays payment of the judgment as long as she doesn't make any more disparaging statements about Cardi or her family. But Tasha broke that promise with recent social media posts and radio show comments about Cardi's estranged husband, Offset, and the father of her youngest child, NFL player Stefan Diggs. A judge thus ordered Tasha to reimburse Cardi for her legal fees spent enforcing compliance, a bill totaling over $110,000, according to Cardi's attorneys. In Tuesday's agreement, Cardi is allowing Tasha to cut the amount nearly in half to 60 thou wow as long as she pays promptly. Tasha is vowing to send Cardi $30,000 within a month, and then the rest of the money by the end of the year, with a debt guaranteed by the blogger's husband and companies. If she happens to default, Cardi will be allowed to go after the full 110 thou wow. The joint filing states that Cardi and Tasha reached the resolution to, quote, avoid the expense, delay, and uncertainty of further litigation over the sanctioned amount. Both sides' legal fees would have continued to accrue if they kept fighting. While the agreement resolves Tasha's contempt of court issue, it does not affect any other legal matters between her and Cardi. This includes the social media's personality still pending $4 million debt to Cardi, as well as the rapper's ongoing lawsuit against Tasha's husband for allegedly shielding their joint assets from collection. Reps for Cardi declined to comment on Wednesday, July 1st. Tasha's lawyer did not immediately return for a request for comment. In 2022, a federal jury found Tasha liable at trial for defaming Cardi with outlandish online claims about DRUG use, STDs, and prostitution. Tasha said she couldn't afford the judgment and declared bankruptcy in 2023. Tasha sought to cancel her debt to Cardi through the bankruptcy process, but a judge shot her down and ruled that the $4 million judgment would not go away. Tasha and Cardi inked a repayment plan in the wake of that ruling, agreeing to that the blogger would pay $1.2 million over 5 years and push the rest of the debt off until later. In exchange, Tasha agreed to refrain from speaking publicly about Cardi B, but as we know, obviously, it was still being spoken on, right? It was still being spoken on, you know what I'm saying? Especially with the case regarding the former chef, especially regarding Stefan Diggs on multiple occasions of alleged several baby mamas of allegedly, Stefan Diggs and who he had next to his mama at the Super Bowl, as well as what happened with the Pow Pow situation and Offset. It has been ongoing, you know what I'm saying? And then saying that lady, you know what I'm saying? Who else is that lady gonna be that is linked to both Offset and also linked to Stefan Diggs? Who else is it going to be? But ultimately, this is where we are. But I feel like ultimately what we keep having the same song and dance. We keep having the same song and dance. Now here's the thing, Cardi, right? You should have stood on business about the $110,000. And this is where you keep running into issues. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to stand on business, right? But we keep coming into these reductions, so to speak, which gives Tasha K leeway to come up with something else to avoid paying you. And you fall for it each and every time. And I don't understand it. Because how do you know for a fact, Cardi, that the next time Stefon Diggs is involved in a scandal, that the next time Offset is involved in a scandal, she's not going to speak on it? Or the next time you have a scandal that involves another celebrity or another entity, that Tasha K is going to talk about it but just not say your name? So you're doing all these reductions, but really you don't know for a fact if ultimately Tasha K really is going to stop this. Because basically it could mean that, hey, I got this money, I got this 60,000 to pay you, I got this 30K to pay you, Neil, within 30 days, and the other 30,000 by the end of the year. But what if you have something that happens in between then? I just don't get it. I just don't get it at all. But I feel like, you know what I'm saying, for me, and again, because it started, like I said, I feel like a broken record, with the 3 cease and desists that were sent out to Tasha K. It started with her getting on the internet and saying she is going to wipe her ASS with the cease and desist, right? Also, Tasha K being upset that Cardi B didn't want to come on her platform to refute what the allegations were against her, because she felt ultimately her team advised her to say, listen, look at here, that's not going to be a good look for you, because it's going to bring more chaos and more drama to the forefront. And then the nicknames that, Cardi B was being called when she's up here kissing her children, right? Kissing her child, right? And they were nicknaming her after STDs. All because of that interview, right? And ultimately, they go to court. Ultimately, there was some concerning things that were said on the stand. And ultimately, we had this judgment. And this has been dragging on and dragging on and dragging on, because there's been more shenanigans each and every step of the way. Immediately, there should have been a payment plan in place once this judgment came out. But Tasha K was like, listen, look at here, I ain't got it. It's a scheme set up by the elites, but by the Illuminati, but by all these people to try to just take down a black female blogger. No, right? Like that was what was happening. And then the issue of the delay of when these videos were going to get taken down. And where all these videos, you know what I'm saying, were at. And it was just one thing after another. And then the bankruptcy. And then all of these things that keep transpiring. And I don't understand why anybody wants to continue to go to court with Cardi B. I don't understand it. I don't understand, after the $4 million judgment, why any discussion about Cardi B, Stefon Diggs, or Offset is still on the table. Whether it is a tweet, whether it is a post on the Instagrammies, whether it is a discussion on the YouTubes, whether it is a discussion on Tasha K Live. Like, why can't we just say, you know what? After this $4 million judgment, let me just never talk about these people ever again. Let me just make sure. But again, even before we get to the $4 million judgment, after the first cease and desist, you know what? Let me just never talk about these people ever again. Let me never say anything. Let me take these videos down and everything else. But what happened? Those were some of her highest viewed, highest watched videos. But ultimately, what is the price? What is the cost of it all if you have to still continue to go back and forth in court for the sake of discussing anything that relates to Cardi B, whether it is her baby daddies, whether it is her estranged husband, like whatever the case it is. It's not worth all of this. It actually gets to a point. And I don't know if Tasha just really loves discussing Cardi B at this point, or discussing her personal life, or any of this, but it is not worth all of these bills. It is not worth all of these judgment amounts, settlement amounts, violation amounts, like all of these things. It's not worth it. Like, it's crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy, because I don't understand it. Out of sight, out of mind for all things Cardi B, all things Stephon Diggs, all things Offset. Who cares? Who cares? If you know that Cardi B has said famously, when we got beef forever. If you know all of that, why are we continuing to poke the bear? Why are we continuing to poke the bear? Why are we continuing to say or do anything that is going to potentially have you hemmed up in court again? And that is just the violation, but that's not even including the legal fees, that this keeps happening, that this keeps occurring. Because remember, it had already came out that there was penalties against the attorney too, trying to reference a ChatGPT case. Like, what are we, like what is happening? But I just hope that this is the end all be all. But I feel like these payment reductions, I feel like these bankruptcy plans, I feel like ultimately it's a loophole for Tasha K to still get in where she fits in, to squeeze in some type of story about Cardi B, or about Offset, or about Stephon Diggs, or whoever Cardi B chooses to entangle with next. I feel like this is going to be a never-ending cycle, you guys. Because there is no guarantee that there will not be a scandal, or there won't be an issue between now and the end of the year where these payments have been separated for the original 60 thou wow, but was reduced from the 110 thou wow. Like, y'all really out here, you know what I'm saying, putting all this trust that nothing is going to happen again. And I just don't understand it. If you know what I'm saying, if I'm Cardi B, you know what I'm saying, and things keep happening, you gotta do the fullest extent of punishment. But these leeways that you're giving Tasha K is basically, in Tasha K's mind, well, I can still squeeze in this story here. I can still squeeze in this little tweet and delete here. I can squeeze in this little shade here about Stephon Diggs, about Offset. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna see it. No, nobody's gonna see it, right? So we'll see, like I said, if this is it, if this is all, if it's todos, if it's finale, or if we will be back with another video talking about more violations or talking about something else, because ultimately we have to figure out what the status of the other court cases surrounding Tasha K and her husband and Cardi B, what is going to be what. So, nonetheless, that is it for this video. I need y'all to do me the biggest favor. I need y'all to do the biggest one, and that is to hype the video. Hype the video, please. Hype the video like you've never hyped a video before in your life. There is that. That is it. That is all. It's todos, es final, es finito. It's the end of the road. It's the end of the line for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post the content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.